I would like to discuss it in the way to motivate us so that we can optimize our benefits from fasting in Ramadan. Yeah? So, in other words, we can say how to optimize benefits of fasting in Ramadan. We welcome the month. Usually we say, Allahumma barik lana fi Sha'ban wa ballighna Ramadan. Oh Allah, bless us in this month of Sha'ban and give us a chance to gain benefits of Ramadan. Why we welcome the coming of Ramadan? In Ramadan, Allah offers extraordinary benefits that are impossible for us to gain in other months. We therefore hope that Allah gives us additional time in life, at least until the end of Ramadan, with perfect health, adequate provisions, and strong motivation to get closer to Allah, so that we can grab the benefits offered to us. To welcome the fasting month of Ramadan, when various benefits are offered to us, we should make preparations so that we can optimize efforts to worship Allah. Physically, we should maintain our health so that we can do fasting and other good deeds conveniently. Materially, we should prepare logistics adequately. If we need to prepare things for Idul Fitri celebration, for example, we can do it before Ramadan so that our worshipping activities will not get disturbed. Mentally and spiritually, we need to strengthen our iman, to develop strong motivation, and to intensify our communications with Allah. Ramadan is a special month with the proof that Allah obliges us, adult Muslims around the world, to fast in the whole month. It is special because Allah is also ready to forgive our past sins, and Allah offers to multiply our rewards by up to 60,000 times or even more. What has caused Allah to treat Ramadan extraordinarily? What is special for Ramadan as compared to other months? Allah mentions the reason with by revealing ayah number 185 of Surah Al-Baqarah. شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن هدى للناس وبينات من الهدى والفرقان فمن شهد منكم الشهر فليصمه. The month of Ramadan is that in which was revealed the Quran, a guidance for the people and clear proofs of guidance and criterion. So whoever sights the new moon of the month, let him fast it. From this ayah, we can understand that because Al-Quran was revealed in Ramadan, Allah orders all Muslims around the world to do fasting in the whole month. This indicates that Al-Quran is so important as guidance to Muslims who want to live happily in this world and in the hereafter. It also indicates that because Allah is the most honorable, His book Al-Quran is also honorable. And Ramadan, when the honorable Quran was revealed, becomes an honorable month. Thus, if we want to become honorable, we should strive to get closer to the most honorable God by fasting in the honorable month and using the honorable Al-Quran as our guidance of life. Back to ayah 185, we can understand from it that the cause of the fasting obligation is the revelation of Al-Quran. Then what is the purpose of the fasting month in it, of the fasting in the month? Ayah 183 tells us that the purpose is our being righteous. Allah says, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu kutiba alaykumus siyamu kama kutiba ala alladhina min qablikum la'allakum tattaqun. O you who have believed, decreed upon you is fasting as it was decreed upon those before you, so that you may be righteous. Someone is considered as righteous if he or she is obedient to Allah by doing whatever He orders and avoiding whatever He forbids. To those who are righteous, Allah promises to forgive their sins and to admit them to paradise. Like what Allah says, وَسَارِعُوا إِلَى مَغْفِرَةٍ مِّن رَبِّكُمْ وَجَنَّةٍ عَرْضُهَا السَّمَاوَاتُ وَالْأَرْضُ أُعِدَّتْ لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. And hasten to forgiveness from your Lord, and the garden as wide as the heavens and earth, prepared for the righteous. So, because Al-Quran was revealed, then Allah orders us to fast in the month. So the month of Ramadan becomes the fasting month. And the goal of our fasting is taqwa. Taqwa means doing Allah's orders and avoiding His prohibitions. If we can do those, then Allah offers us forgiveness and paradise. Then what are promised by Allah and His Messenger for those fasting and doing worshipping activities in Ramadan? There are at least four things offered by Allah and His promise and His Messenger for those who are fasting. First of all is forgiveness for their past sins. The Prophet ﷺ said, Man qama laylatal qadri imanan wa ihtisaban ghufira lahu ma taqaddama min dhanbih wa man sama ramadana imanan wa ihtisaban ghufira lahu ma taqaddama min dhanbih. Whoever establishes prayers on the night of Qadr out of sincere faith and hoping for a reward from Allah, then all his previous sins will be forgiven. And whoever fasts in the month of Ramadan out of sincere faith and hoping for a reward from Allah, then all his previous sins will be forgiven. Narrated by Bukhari and Muslim. Number two, offered by Allah and His promise and His Prophet for us is protection against the hell. Rasulullah quoted Allah as saying, "Kullu amal ibn Adam lahu illa siyam, fa innahu li wa ana ajzi bihi was siyamu junnah." Allah said, all the deeds of Adam's sons or people are for them, except fasting, which is for me. For me means for Allah, and I will give the reward for it. The point is, the next, fasting is a shield or protection from the fire and from committing sins. Another promise by Allah is that Allah will multiply rewards for good deeds in the night of the revelation of Quran. We can read from Surah Al-Qadr, Surah number 97, from ayah number 1 up to 5. Inna anzalnahu fi laylatil qadr wa ma adraka ma laylatul qadr laylatul qadr khayrun min alf shahr tanazzalul malaikatu war ruhu fiha bi idhni rabbihim min kulli amr salamun hiya hatta matla'il fajr. Indeed, we send the Quran down during the night of decree. And what can make you know what is the night of decree? The night of decree is better than 1,000 months. Then angels and the spirit means Jibril, descend therein by permission of the Lord for every matter. Peace it is until the emergence of dawn. The background of the revelation of this surah was that the time Prophet Muhammad told a story about a prophet during the time of Bani Israel. According to Islamic book in Arabic, the name of the prophet was Sham'un. Sham'un. Probably it is what other people say Samson. But in Arabic, he was called Sham'un. Prophet Muhammad said that Sham'un did da'wah, like what Bu Monica told us, did da'wah in the daytime, and in the nighttime he prayed and tried to get closer to Allah. So he did da'wah in the daytime, and in the nighttime he prayed. Within 100, within 1,000 months. 1,000 months is about 83 plus years. Then the companions who listened to the story got sad, and they wept. They wept, and the Prophet asked them, "What make you weep?" Then they replied that that they are jealous because the Prophet Shamun should have got big rewards or huge rewards from Allah because of his da'wah and his prayer within 1,000 months. Then Allah revealed this surah saying that you can have a chance to get similar rewards by doing salah or dhikr during the night of revelation of Al-Quran. Then Allah said, Laylatul Qadri khairum min alfi shahr. The night of decree is better than 1,000 months. The benefit number 4 offered by Allah and His Prophet is that those who fast in Ramadan will be admitted to enter paradise through a certain gate. Rasulullah said, Inna fil jannati baban yuqalu lahu ar-rayyan yadkhulu minhu as-sa'imuna yawm al-qiyamah la yadkhulu minhu ahadun ghayruhum yuqalu ayna as-sa'imun fayaqumun la yadkhulu minhu ahadun ghayruhum fa idha dakhalu ughliq falam yadkhul minhu ahad. There is a gate in paradise called Ar-Rayyan, and those who observe fasts will enter through it on the day of resurrection, and none except them will enter through the gate. It will be said, where are those who used to observe fast? They will get up, and none except them will enter through it. After their entry to the gate, the gate will be closed and nobody will enter through it. This hadith is sahih, narrated by Bukhari and Muslim. Then, how can we gain the 4 opportunities offered by Allah and His Messenger? I propose 2 things. The first, we should avoid any sinful deeds, because Rasulullah said that Man lam yada' qawla az-zuri wal 'amala bihi falaysa lillahi hajatun fi an yada'a ta'amahu wa sharabah. Whoever does not give up forged speech, and evil actions. Allah is not in need of his leaving his food and drink. It is Allah will not accept his fasting. So, if someone is fasting the whole month of Ramadan, but he or she does not avoid sinful deeds, or he or she commits a sinful deed, then there is no use of his or her fasting. So I propose that we should try to avoid any sinful deeds. And I like to call it as a zero sin program. A program with which we do not commit any sinful deeds. So if I imitate what is usually put in sensitive factories as zero accident. So all people should avoid any accident in the factory, particularly factories sensitive to fire, like chemicals factory or oil refinery. And I think we human beings are more important than factories. So if we try to avoid accidents from factories, we should also try to avoid accidents on against ourselves. So and sinful deeds will cause accidents to us, because those who commit sinful deeds will go to hell, and it is a great accident. So we should avoid it. The second program is we should worship Allah 24 hours a day. It means that we use all the time that we are given by Allah 100% for worshipping. So we worship Allah 24 hours a day by doing things intended just to please Allah. If we borrow the terms of fiqh, there are five principles in five criteria in fiqh: wajib, sunnah, jaiz, makruh, and haram. Those who are considered as worshipping or which will get reward from Allah are those belonging to the first two, wajib and sunnah. If we do wajib and sunnah, we will get rewards. But if we do makruh, jaiz and makruh, we will not get any rewards, and there will be no punishment. But the other one, we should avoid, we should try to shun. It is haram. Because if we do any haram deed, then we will be punished. So anything we do should belong to the first two, wajib and sunnah. How is it possible? It is possible. Yeah? For example, salah is wajib or obligatory. We cannot do salah without getting wudu. So that means that because salah cannot be done without wudu, because salah is wajib, obligatory, then wudu is also obligatory. And we cannot take wudu if we do not use water. We cannot use water if we do not have water. We cannot have water if we do not buy water. And we cannot buy water if we do not have money. In order to have money, we have to work. So, if we work for a while in order to get a sum of money to buy water for getting wudu, And finally, for salah, that means that working for money for that purpose is part of salah. If the working is part of salah, that means that our working is ibadah. If the salah is obligatory, then our working is also obligatory. So we try to connect whatever we do with ibadah, with worshipping. Another example, sleeping is a human need. But if we sleep just because we are sleepy, that would be like cats. Cats will sleep when they are sleepy. So we should not do that way. We sleep in order that we can get up early so that we can pray subuh in time. So that means that our sleeping is preparation for salah subuh. If we sleep as a preparation for salah, that means that the sleeping is part of salah. So we will get reward from sleeping. So we sleep, we do nothing, but we get reward, and it is part of ibadah. When we go to restroom, we connect our activity with ibadah. If we do not go to restroom in a routine way, for example, we will get sick. Then, in order that we keep our health, we should go to toilet when we need, in order that we can maintain our health, and we need our health to practice our worshipping. So our activity in the restroom is part of worshipping. So we do that way for everything we do. So we can claim that anything we do it for Allah. Yeah? Anything we do it for Allah, with good niyah, with good intention. Yeah? If we practice these two methods, we inshallah can spend 100% of our life just for worshipping Allah. In order to optimize our efforts, we should use Al-Quran as guidebook for our life, because like what was revealed in Surah 185, Al-Quran is said as hudan linnasi wa bayyinatin min al-huda wal furqan. Al-Quran is guidance for the people and clear proofs of guidance and criterion. So we should use Al-Quran as what is intended for. And Allah promises a good life. What is good life? We can live a good life if we get free from fear and grievance. And Allah promises a good life for anyone who follows His guidance, particularly Al-Quran. Like what Allah says to Prophet Adam, قُلْ نَهْبِطُوا مِنْهَا جَمِيعًا فَإِمَّا يَأْتِيَنَّكُم مِّنِّي هُدًى فَمَنْ تَبِعَ هُدَايَ فَلَا خَوْفٌ عَلَيْهِمْ وَلَا هُمْ يَحْزَنُونَ. We, Allah said, go down from the paradise, all of you. And when guidance comes to you from me, whoever follows my guidance, there will be no fear concerning them, nor will they grieve. So it is a promise by Allah that He will always reveal guidance to His messengers. And the messages revealed to Prophet Muhammad are called Al-Quran. Yeah? Those who do not use Al-Quran as guidance will face a risk of living with difficulties. Like what Allah says, وَمَنْ أَعْرَضَ عَنْ ذِكْرِي فَإِنَّ لَهُ مَعِيشَةً ضَنْكًا وَنَحْشُرُهُ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ أَعْمَى. And whoever turns away from my remembrance, indeed he will have a depressed life, and we will gather him in the day of resurrection blind. how can we use Al-Quran as a book of life guidance? We use it as a source of inspirations, including that of the earning of incomes. Like what Allah says, Ahum yaqsimuna rahmata rabbik. نحن قسمنا بينهم معيشتهم في الحياة الدنيا ورفعنا بعضهم فوق بعض درجات ليتخذ بعضهم بعضا سخريا ورحمة ربك خير مما يجمعون. Do they distribute the mercy of your Lord? It is we who have apportioned among them their livelihood in the life of this world and have raised some of them above others in degrees, that they may make use of one another for service. But the mercy of your Lord is better than whatever they accumulate. The key point of what I say as a source of inspiration, in the middle of this ayah, Allah says, وَرَفَعْنَا بَعْضَهُمْ فَوْقَ بَعْضٍ دَرَجَاتٍ. And we have raised some of them above others in degrees. So if we want to get more provisions from Allah, we should improve ourselves. We should develop ourselves so that we have advantages above others. If we have advantages, then we will have opportunities to get rewards, to get provisions from Allah. So it is an inspiration for us, which motivates us to learn and practice. And we use Al-Quran as a reference for the solution of problems. Allah says, Ya ayyuhan nasu qad ja'akum maw'idhatun min rabbikum wa shifa'an lima fi sudur wa hudan wa rahmatan lil mu'minin. O mankind, there has come to you instruction from your Lord and healing for what is the beasts and guidance and mercy for the believers. So Al-Quran is a source of maw'idah. Maw'idah means advices. And Al-Quran is also shifa'ul lima fi sudur, healing for what is in the breast. So it is something like spiritual or mental healing. If we have problems, usually we are sad or we are afraid or we feel we have bad emotions, and we should overcome the sources of bad emotions. And if we use Al-Quran, inshallah, we will find the solutions. But unfortunately, the fact shows that Al-Quran is ignored. Majority of people do not use Al-Quran as a guidebook. Prophet Muhammad himself complained, وَقَالَ الرَّسُولُ يَا رَبِّي إِنَّ قَوْمِ اتَّخَذُوا هَذَا الْقُرْآنَ مَهْجُورًا. And the messenger has said, O my Lord, indeed my people have taken this Quran as a thing abandoned. What are the signs of abandoning? If majority of people do not read Al-Quran, some of them already read Al-Quran, but they do not try to understand Al-Quran. How can they understand Al-Quran if they do not know the language, Arabic? So, if we want to avoid this complaint, if we do not want to belong to those ignoring Al-Quran, we should learn the language of Al-Quran in order that we can understand Al-Quran well, because translation is not reliable. Translation will depend on those who do the translation. If the translators have no much knowledge, then the translation will be wrong. And you see that what has been raised by Bu Monica. One sentence or a phrase can be translated into two controversial meanings. So if we do not understand the language, we will be confused. So I hope that the presentation of Bu Monica will motivate us to learn Al-Quran and to understand the messages and to practice the teachings of Al-Quran. So the review of this discussion is that Ramadan is a special month because Al-Quran was revealed in the month. The objective of fasting obligation is to make believers pious or righteous so that they are forgiven by Allah and admitted to paradise. How to gain benefits from fasting? We should avoid sinful deeds and worship Allah 24 hours a day. Al-Quran is a guidance to happy life, and use Al-Quran as a source of inspirations and solution of problems. Thank you so much.